So we stopped, and you guys were just getting a little bit into organized sports, and we're talking about that. Phil, you had talked about a team. How old were you then? You and Uncle Gene were
Yeah, we were in the seventh grade,
okay.
so that would, how old were
13, 14.
we? Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere
Okay,
along in there.
okay. And so tell me about school. You guys went to school. How far away was school? Did you walk to it, or how
No,
bus came around?
we rode the bus. We lived 7 miles from the school. The school was in Holland, Virginia.
Okay. And that was Highland Middle School or elementary school where you started, or what was it called?
Both.
Both. Okay.
There wasn't any middle school. There was an elementary school that went through the seventh grade,
Okay.
and 8 through 11 was high school.
Okay. All right. All right. And you got to play sports in school starting about seventh grade, but that really wasn't a school sport. Did they have school sports in elementary school?
No,
Okay. All right. All right. And what about school? Was there things you liked and things you didn't like? What was your favorite subject and teacher and all?
my favorite subject in school was sports.
Sports. Did you have a PE class?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. All right.
but
Yeah, both of y'all, huh?
if you played on the teams,
Uh-huh.
the school teams,
Okay.
then you didn't have physical ed. That was what the physical ed was.
Okay. All right.
Participation in the school sports.
Okay.
But when I came along, we did have PE.
You did have PE?
Yeah.
Okay.
As well as if you played on
Mhm.
sports or not, didn't make any difference.
Okay.
Still
That's a
had
formal
PE.
class.
Yeah, you'll notice that Phil said through the 11th grade.
Right.
They didn't have 12 grades back then.
Okay. But when you came along, you did.
We had 12.
All right. Okay. All right. And so what was there a favorite teacher, or was it the coach that was who coached these teams?
Mr. Wheeler,
Okay.
Charles Wheeler was the coach when I was there, and he coached everything:
Okay.
baseball,
Anything.
basketball, football, girls basketball.
Right. Was he employed by the school, or he was just a volunteer from the community?
No, he was employed by the school.
Okay. Did he teach as well?
He taught some
Okay.
classes. Yeah,
All right.
science, I believe.
Okay. All right. And so you played basketball and baseball. Any other sports?
Football.
Football.
Played
Okay.
football, varsity football, for 1 year.
Okay.
I always wanted to play, and Daddy wouldn't let me play because we were so small.
Right.
I weighed 107 pounds when I played football.
Okay.
And was a senior in high school.
Wow. Okay. All right. And now did Gene play these sports as well? Were y'all tied together, so to speak, as
Yeah,
twins?
he played baseball and basketball. He didn't play football because of his eye.
Okay.
He lost his eye.
Okay. Tell us about that. What happened with that?
Well, we were fishing in a boat,
Okay.
and there were 3 of us. Gene was sitting in the front of the boat, and a fellow by the name of Raymond Daughtry was sitting in the middle, and I was in the back, and Raymond was casting with a casting plug, and he threw it out one time, and the hook on it sliced through the edge of his eye,
Okay.
and he got treatment on it, but it never would respond, so he lost sight in that eye.
Okay. All right. And
Now,
how old were y'all then?
we were 15 years
Okay.
old.
All right. All right. And so he couldn't play football because of his eye, but he could
Right.
play the other sports.
Yeah, well, later on he could have played football, but
Right.
the accident happened the summer before our senior year
Okay. All right.
in high school.
Okay. All right. And so that kept him from
From participating in football.
right in the
Yeah.
practices and
Yeah.
everything. Okay. All right. And Dad, would you ended up playing all 3 as well? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you remember going to their games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always went to that game.
All right.
In fact, a little funny story about that. When they were playing baseball,
Yeah.
um, and I'd always stay after school for the game.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I was always running around with a bunch of kids. We'd be playing this and that while the game was going on.
Right.
But anyway, I got hungry and thirsty one day, and I noticed a man sitting in the stands by the name of Mr. Johnson.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I knew Mr. Johnson was because when Daddy went to the bank every Friday, he would always go to the bank and get money out to pay the people that worked on the farm.
Right.
And I'd always go with him.
Okay.
And Mr. Johnson was a teller, and Daddy would always go up and, give him a check and get the money, get it broken down into coin and dollars and so forth. So anyway, I saw Mr. Johnson sitting up in the stands with his wife watching the ball game. So I went up there and walked up to where he was sitting, and I said, Mr. Johnson, can you give me some money to buy a drink and some candy bars?
Right.
Well, he said, sure, I'll be glad to. Well, when Mama found out about it, she about died. I thought she was so embarrassed.
Sure.
And she said, Clay, what in the world were you thinking about?
Right.
And I said, well, Mama, Daddy always gets money from him, so I thought I could get some
Everybody
from him.
should, right?
But he just loved it. He would never let Mama forget
Is that
it
right?
as long as I can remember about that. And he just loved it. But Mama was some kind of embarrassed by that.
I'm
I'll tell you
sure.
that right now.
You just thought he was like an ATM. Then.
That's right.
That's where you go when you need money.
I got my chips and a drink.
That's pretty good.
But
What?
I don't remember, for some reason, I remember the baseball, but I don't ever remember a football game. I don't, when you were playing. I don't know whether they were usually after school when you were in school, weren't you? I remember basketball games though. I remember y'all playing basketball. But for some reason I don't remember.
Don't remember that. Okay. All right. And did y'all have good teams? Were you winning teams or?
Baseball team was a winning team. We didn't win the championship, but we came in second place.
Okay.
Basketball was we probably won 2 games all year, and that team wasn't very good. The football, we were an average football team.
Okay. And when you say won the championship, what do you mean? State, region, district, or?
Well, the league.
The league. Okay. Okay.
There were 4 or 5 schools in that league.
Okay.
They call it a group, I believe.
Area school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we had a conversation last night about when you played football, it was 8-man football or 6-man football.
Right.
And when you played, it was 11-man football. And Aunt Betty remember somewhere in between there was an 8-man team as well.
Yeah.
So okay. And Dad, how were y'all's teams?
Our teams were pretty good. Of course, I was 6 years behind Phil and Gene,
Right.
and I grew up playing ball with Phil and Gene. I was always playing with people older than I was, I guess. Phil and Gene, and this boy Billy Johnson was a year older than Phil and Gene, and so I guess that made me work harder or whatnot. And I was always very good in sports. In baseball, I think I would hit over 500 most every year.
Okay.
But I played on we had a little league team that Phil and Gene kind of coached a little bit in different ones, and I played some little league ball out in the pit that Phil was talking about.
All right.
And played football, and I played basketball, and I was pretty good, and I was captain of all 3 my senior year.
Okay.
Of course, it was a small school. But
were you as small as I mean, you're not big, but were you 107 pounds? How big were you?
I was probably about 120 pounds.
Okay, so a little bit heavy.
A little bit, but not much.
Right. Well,
but I was fast.
Right.
We had a big line. We had some big guys in the line in football, and all they had to do is give me a little opening, and I was gone.
Okay.
And we were my junior year, we were
I only lost one game, and I think my senior year we only lost
Okay.
one game in football. Basketball we weren't too good in.
Right.
We lost more than we won in basketball.
Okay.
Baseball we did real well.
Okay. All right. And were there other organized activities? I know you were in the Cub Scouts, Dad. Did y'all do scouts, or was what other organized? Was there anything in church, or what was any other organized youth stuff going on?
We had a Boy Scout troop
Okay.
at the school. And
Okay.
Of course, I was before high school. I was in the late elementary.
Okay. All right. And y'all participate? Go camping with them, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
All
a
right.
Holland Scout troop.
All right.
Everything that scouts do, we
Right.
did.
Okay. All right. And was there any youth stuff in the church, or not really so much?
No,
Okay.
not really.
All right. And so
One
Go
thing
ahead.
about sports you mentioned, we used to have to practice, and I
Uh-huh.
don't know about Phil and Gene. How did y'all get home from practicing after school?
Most of the time, well, when Billy Johnson was on the team, his daddy came and picked us up.
Okay.
And when the next year, Mama would come pick us up. That was the only way we could get home.
Well, I used to come home most
Did
of the
you?
time, yeah, from Holland. We were
Mhm.
about 7 miles, but it was a straight shot down 189. And back then, people would pick you up.
you probably knew everybody that picked you up, didn't you?
Well, no.
No?
There was always a lot of sailors
Okay.
from Norfolk.
Okay.
And they would always thumb, but people would pick me up. I know one time the president of WGH radio down in Norfolk picked me up,
Okay.
and they would drop me off right at the house because I'd be coming right by.
Uh-huh.
And this was all before we were able to drive. I wasn't
Right.
old
Yeah.
enough to drive, so
Okay.
I would just get out there in Holland, right in town,
Right.
there in front of the school, really, and thumb, and I'd have a ride in no time.
Sure.
Sometimes 18-wheeler pick me up once
Right.
in a while.
Right.
Or somebody.
Okay.
I mean, back then, you weren't afraid to do that
Sure.
sort of thing
Sure.
because
People wouldn't
it
even
was a
have to worry
different
about it.
time.
Right. Right. What were some were there memorable things in school, pranks or jokes or events that happened while y'all were in school?
Well, when we were seniors and were able to get, I'm talking about Gene and I,
Right.
we got our driver's license.
Okay.
And Daddy bought us a Crossley.
And that's a type of automobile.
Huh?
That's a type of automobile. That's a car.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay.
And it was pale green.
Yeah.
And we painted the thing silver with a big red
Is that
stripe
right?
around it.
Is that right?
Yeah. And we would, it's a small, very small car.
Okay. Okay.
And we'd park it out on the street with the other cars. And one day we went out after practice to get in the car and go home, and some of our friends had lifted the thing up
Is
and
that
set
right?
it on the sidewalk. But I tell you, that engine in that car didn't have an oil pump on it. It used a splash method.
Okay.
And when we drove the thing, we drove as hard as it could go. And I remember putting at least one engine in
Is
it.
that right?
Yeah.
Now, how did y'all paint it?
How?
Yeah, did
A
you
brush.
You used a paintbrush
Yeah.
to paint it. That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Just some house paint.
I don't know.
Went to the hardware store and
I
got some
guess
paint,
so.
right? Yeah. What and I know you and Gene always loved cars. Did it start with that car that y'all learned how to work on things? And
Well, we learned that ourselves.
Okay.
Really.
all right,
Daddy could do a little work on cars,
Right.
but at the time when we got interested in cars, he couldn't see,
okay,
and so he couldn't help us. But I remember the first after the Crossley, Daddy bought us a 1952 Chevrolet two-door that was owned by Mr. George Gardner, which lived down the road from
Okay.
us. and we drove that to school, and I took that to college when I went
Okay.
first
Okay.
year.
All right. What
I
what
remember
Go ahead.
the thing that car didn't have a radio in it,
Oh, is that right?
and I bought a radio and installed it in it,
Okay.
and it worked fine.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, and that leads me to that other question. So, where did y'all go to buy things? You guys were out on a farm. You're 7 or 8 miles from the town of, I guess it's a town of Holland?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where you go to local store to get your clothes or to, obviously if things were handed down or given to you, but where would you go to buy things?
Well, some in Holland, but mostly in Franklin.
Okay.
Franklin was 5 miles we were 5 miles from Franklin.
Okay.
And
Franklin was larger, much larger than Holland.
Okay.
yeah. In Franklin, we went to Holland instead of Franklin because Franklin was in Southampton County. And we
Okay.
lived in Nansemond County, so we had to go to Holland to school.
And was the line the Blackwater River?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so, how often as kids would your parents, would that be once a month you'd go into Franklin and buy stuff, or just depending on when you needed
Mama would go once a week.
Okay.
And for groceries and
Canned goods.
anything else, but
Okay.
mostly groceries.
Okay. What were some of the appliances or things you had in your house that coming along that?
Before you get into
Go
that,
ahead.
I'll just add one interesting little
Yeah.
point. And I don't know why it sticks with me so
Yeah.
much, but I've never forgotten it. But I can remember just like it was tomorrow. Mama took me to Leggett's
Uh-huh.
in Franklin. There was a Leggett's department store there, and to buy me a pair of shoes.
Uh-huh.
And we were coming out. We had gotten a pair of shoes, and we were coming out. And Mama looked at me and she said, "Your daddy is going to be so upset when he finds out that I paid $5.50 for this pair of shoes
Right.
for you."
Right.
And for some reason, that's always stuck with
Right.
me. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but just the way things were and what you paid for things
Right.
back then.
You still get upset when you pay $5.50 for a pair of shoes. Don't you? And that was what was the store there that y'all would shop at? There were several stores, I
Well, this
imagine.
was Leggett's in.
And that was-
in
okay, that was a
Franklin.
department
That was
store
a
in
big
the South.
department store.
Right. And was there a certain grocery store?
Yeah,
or-
they had two grocery stores
Okay.
there.
Was that a
A&P was one of them.
okay?
And
Colonial Stores was there later on when I was
Yeah.
old, but when you were there, it was something else, I believe.
yeah, I can't
Okay.
remember.
All right.
A&P I remember. I can't remember the other one. but
Okay.
She'd always buy her meat at A&P.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meat was supposed to be better.
Better there. What?
I would
Well, there
always, I'd always ask at the meat counter for bones
Yeah.
because they would always give you bones for the dog.
Okay.
And of course, those bones had pretty good amount of meat on them.
Right.
So I would always take one home and give it to King.
Yeah. King enjoyed those bones,
Oh,
I imagine.
He loved those things.
What did and so back at the house. Tell me about the house. So the house, it's an old farmhouse built. It had to be built if it was in the family that long, probably the late 1800s,
no, the late 1700s.
late 1700s.
Yeah,
Okay.
we think was when that house was built.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that there were square nails used.
Is that
in it.
right?
And that's when square nails
Right.
were used for construction.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Added on
Because
to
it
it.
was added on to
Uh-huh.
when Dad and Mama moved back home.
Right.
They added a room
Okay.
and a bathroom
Okay.
for downstairs for Grandma and Grandpa.
Okay. All right. All right.
And later on also they added they enclosed the kitchen. The kitchen was separate
Right.
from the house, but later on they enclosed it.
Okay. When you say they, do you mean your daddy?
He was involved in
Okay,
it.
he
Yeah, I
and-
mean, he didn't do the work.
Right. Okay. All right. So he would have contracted something
Yeah.
like that out. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you.
Now, where was the kitchen before?
Well, it was at the back, but
It was separate from the house.
Yeah,
It
it
wasn't
wasn't
attached.
right.
Okay.
Now, I know that, but I don't remember it because it was before my time.
Mm.
But and talking to this guy who owns the house now, we went through that, and he said that the kitchen was separate at one time, and later on they connected it. You know, there was
Hallway.
you go in the front, you go in the middle room, then you go in the dining room, then you go into a hallway, and then you go into the kitchen.
Right.
Well, that hallway wasn't there.
That was what connected the two, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
that wasn't there. So to get to the kitchen, you had to go outdoors to get to the kitchen door.
All right. All right. What was what kind of technology was in the house when y'all were kids? I mean, obviously you had a refrigerator and this, that, and the other, but and you had a radio. You talked about that. What else came along while y'all were kids, and what was there?
Well, before the ask that question again.
Well, when
So-
was it we got our television? Seems like me it was 1954.
Yeah, I was freshman in high school when we got that, and Daddy got it to watch the conventions, the political conventions.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Was he interested in politics a lot?
Well, he's interested in what was going on.
In the
He
country.
didn't participate in
Right. But he
Well,
Okay.
Granddaddy was involved in politics, I think.
Was he?
Well, a little bit. He was served on board of supervisors and
Okay.
that kind of thing.
okay. So, but you had a radio for as long as y'all could remember. You said you listened to
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah, radio was probably about it.
Okay.
And instead of having a refrigerator, at one time there was an ice box.
Okay.
So the Iceman came every now and then and brought ice, and you use that as a refrigerator. Later on, the refrigerators came out.
So icebox is just a big insulated box that
Yeah.
held the ice in there, and kept things cold.
And nobody came up to our house
Uh-huh.
and got out of the car until we went out
Is that right? Okay.
because of King.
Oh.
And he particularly hated the laundry truck.
Oh, is that what? Now, what's the laundry truck? What's that mean?
Well, once a week, Mama would send out laundry
Okay.
to get it clean.
Okay.
And the laundry man would come by and pick up what you had.
All right.
And then about 3 or 4 days later, he would bring it back to you,
Uh-huh.
all cleaned and everything.
Okay.
And he drove a yellow truck.
Okay.
And for some reason, King particularly hated that yellow truck.
Is that right?
And that man was scared to death to get out of that truck
Right.
when he came up there. And of course, anybody that came up there, he would come out barking.
Right.
And he was really ferocious.
Is that right?
Yeah. And nobody would get out on their own.
All right. All right.
So King protected the.
King protected the house till y'all said it was okay, huh?
That's right, pretty much.